And that is a lap of the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, bathed in beautiful sunshine here today as the grid is being cleared. And now leaves us with 18 cars and drivers getting set for race number 1. 16 laps is the journey, and here's what it looks like. A track that opened in 1928 for the first 100 miles road race, better known as the Australian Grand Prix. It's a 12-turn circuit with the famous Gardner Straight that takes us down into turn number 1. That is going to be a hot zone during the race here this afternoon. Turn 2, the Southern Loop, which turns us back around alongside Bass Straight, down towards turn number 4. And we work our way around the back side of the circuit. Lots of passing opportunities, a very fast circuit. Aaron Noonan's alongside me, pretty pumped up, ready for this race here today. And these track conditions just about ideal for race number 1.
I'm ready, I'm keen, I'm eager. It's the first race of the second round of the car sales TCR Australia Series. Cars leaving on the warm-up lap, and you want variety. We've got variety. 8 different brands represented in this field of 18 cars, and it's a real mix up front. Alfa, Hyundai, Volkswagen, Honda and Renault. 5 in the top 6. And if you go back to see that there's an Audi and a Subaru in the top 10, 7 in the top 10. It's pretty awesome.
Incredible. Astrontech pole position going to Dylan O'Keefe earlier today for Ash Seaward Motorsport. The Alfa Romeo start from pole position. Will Brown joins him on the front row. Jason Bright and Tony D'Alberto, fair bit of experience on that second row. John Martin and James Moffat, who just took us for a hot lap around, will start out of 5 and 6. Garth Tander makes his debut out of position number 7 with Nathan Morecambe. Andre Heimgartner, the birthday boy, joins Chris Pither on that 5th row.
Garth Tander lucky to be 7th. He was off the road late in the session, but there was no red flag, so that meant his time stood. Hamish Riverence, the Super 3 Supercar Series leader, is in TCR this weekend on board the Audi, position 11. Jimmy Vernon next in the second of the Alphas. Alex Rullo, the first of the Holden Astras, the Castrol car from Kelly Racing. Then Leanne Tander in another of the Audis. Molly Taylor, Alexandra Whitley, Chelsea Angelo and Aaron Cameron went off the road during qualifying. Therefore, fastest lap was removed and he was not permitted to rejoin the session, so he will start down the tail. Did a nice job in the first round at Sydney Motorsport Park. We'll be on board with a range of drivers, including this one, Garth Tander. In car number 4, I don't think I've ever said that before with Garth Tander.
It's weird, isn't it?
And in an Audi. We have seen him in GT Audis before, but this is his first time in a TCR Audi, and he is warming up the tyres. Look how aggressive he is, trying to get the heat in those front Michelins. He knows fully well that that's really important. That's the secret sauce for front-wheel drive race cars, particularly on a big track like this. Andre Heimgartner, he found out about it down in turn 1, not just because of cold tyres, but they might have had a mechanical issue with that car, something that was left on that shouldn't have been, and he suddenly found himself pointing the wrong way. But he's good to go. This car and this driver with the big movers, Matt, in the first round at Sydney, they had all sorts of dramas with this car, but by the end of the weekend, Progressive Grid, he'd got his way to challenge for the lead in the final race. The Subaru doesn't have the pace of some of these other TCR cars, but this Kiwi can drive. We know he can drive. We've seen what he can do in Carrera Cup and in supercars and the like. He will drive it to the front if it's capable, but he's right in the mix as we get set for this 16-lapper, half-hour race. It's all about the sprint. There's no time to really waste here, but the critical element is tyre temperature on this first lap. Asking some of the drivers why it's different from Sydney. This wasn't quite as prevalent. Different surface, different ambient temperature, different slight style of track in terms of some of the corner profile. We'll be on board with James Moffat. He's having a good run. He's got a smile on his dial in that Renault. He starts position 6. This is much better than a couple of weeks ago in Sydney, because this time last round his car was being pushed off the grid with an oil drama and he wasn't even starting the race.
So he'll start out of 6th position. His teammate Chris Pither will start out of position number 10. He found the gravel down at Southern Loop, but hey, he wasn't alone during that qualifying session earlier today. You're in car with Will Brown, the now 21-year-old. Almost seems like he's a senior citizen behind the wheel of car number 30. Watch for this guy out of Toowoomba. Just continue to breed amazing race car drivers. We'll start on that front row with Dylan O'Keefe as the cars come into position now for race number 1. Are you nervous? Because I am.
I'm edgy. I'm good to go. I'm really looking forward to this. We've had some good racing so far in the first round. Sun's out, sky's blue, Phillip Island looking picture perfect today, and the top 2 drivers in the championship are on the front row of the grid in the opposite positions that they are in the point score. 2 points for pole to Dylan O'Keefe. He's trimmed the margin to Will Brown. It's now just 10. 40 points on the line for this first race of 3. 2 more tomorrow, 1 right now. They've got to get it done. They've got to get it going. 18 cars, 8 different brands. First race of round 2, 7-round series for the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Look at that view. Picture perfect today at the island. All about getting those turbos spooled up. All about getting those front wheels really spinning It's a battle of the brands, Hyundai and Alpha. Two young guts, two 21-year-olds on the front row of the grid. Away we go for the run to turn one in race one at Phillip Island. And it's all about the Alpha and the Hyundai down towards turn one. It is unbelievably close. Jason Bright's in the mix. Tony Delberto's in the mix. But look at Delberto. That Honda has made ground round the outside. He could be second by turn two.
And Heimgartner making a big move as well back there in that 777 as O'Keefe covers off any attack down to turn number one. Brown is awkward. He's awkward through turn one. He's off the circuit.
Will Brown off through the scenery. This is huge in the championship. And this will hurt him all weekend. It's progressive grid. Where you finish is where you start the next race. His weekend has been undone straight away. But it's Dylan O'Keefe with the lead. The Alpha out in front. Delberto made a great jump. The Honda's next. Jason Bright, winner of the first ever TCR race at Sydney Motorsport Park. Garth Tander in the mix. He started 7th. He's up to position 4 and in the game. That experience is paying off. How about Heimgartner? He's next. The Subaru is position 5. I said he'd move. I didn't think he'd move that quickly.
A lot of time on his side. Jump-in car with Jason Bright around the backside of the circuit past the famous Hayshed. On the left-hand side to the top of Lukey Heights. And safety car has been called. The ANCAP safety car has been called, so I don't think Brown has got out of it down there.
Nathan Morecambe's got an issue. His Hyundai teammate on our timing screen, he is down the bottom. Car number 11, the Rondo machine, the former Australian endurance champ, who got involved in a bit of drama last time he raced TCR at Sydney Motorsport Park, but this really nullifies the field. In a way, it's a good thing for Will Brown because he's been able to move up onto the tail of the queue at least. But I'm looking at the timing screen here, and John Martin's down the back in the other Honda, so there's been something go on out there. Safety car's out, and that will close up the field as they roll on down the Gardner Straight.
So Will Brown is up to 16th position. The ANCAP safety car is out here at the end of lap number 1. We'll take a short break and come back soon here at Phillip Island. Not the start for Will Brown. He's down in 16th position on Nathan Morecambe off the circuit. So we pick up Jimmy Vernon in car number 7. He's down in 6th position. The big mover and shaker right now, Andre Heimgartner. The 777, as you predicted, just like we saw that drive up at Sydney. He's doing the same thing here at Phillip Island today.
I'll take your raising up the order and I'll raise it more because Aaron Cameron started 18th in one lap. He's 9th. He's past half the field. Well, he's been helped by a couple of people having drama, but that's a really good job to move his way through. John Martin has got the Honda, car 24, back to the pit lane. I'm watching it roll on down the lane, out our commentary position at the moment. So whatever was going on there, he was involved. Was it Nathan Morecambe? Were they involved again? Remember, they had contact in the first round at Sydney Motorsport Park, and the Honda ended up off the road after some contact from the Hyundai, and there was a post-race penalty handed out. John Martin's parking at 45 degrees in the pit lane while racing, running this Honda program, and they've got 2 cars. There are 2 more Civic Type Rs that are on their way. I spoke to David Wall yesterday. They are about halfway on their way. In fact, Nathan Morecambe limping around, and he's been off the road, and I reckon the right rear, I'm just trying to get a good shot of that. Is that tyre off the rim? He's been off in the scenery and needed some assistance to get out at Southern Loop. So terrible first lap for the HMO customer racing team with those pair of Hyundai i30Ns. Will Brown is still at least running. He's P16. I'd love to see if we can get Jack and Emma to get in there and find out what's going on with these two, if there's been a clash or if they were in 2 separate scenarios. Because we talk about building rivalry, but we're starting to build
early.
There was some difference of opinions about what was going on at Sydney Motorsport Park, so we'll find out if they were involved with one another or one was having a drama and the other was an innocent bystander. So let's have a look at the order. Dylan O'Keefe the leader, Tony Delberto second, Jason Bright third, Garth Tander fourth, Andre Heimgartner next, Jimmy Vernon, he has made moves too in the other Alpha. He started 12th, he's 6th, James Moffat 7th in the Renault, his teammate Chris Pither, he's just behind. Aaron Cameron, as I mentioned, is 9th. Hamish Riberitz is 10th in another of the Audis. Then Alex Rouleau. Molly Taylor's made up some space in position 12. Alexandra Whitley next in the V-Dub. Chelsea Angelo, Leanne Tander, Will Brown, John Martin in the pits, and Nathan Morecambe just rejoining in the last minute or so to get going again. But he's now right down the back.
Good news for Will Brown, isn't it, though? He gets to the tail of this field after dropping right down with that turn 2 incident. So still behind the back of the ANCAP safety car here. These laps counted behind the safety car, race number 1. TCR Australia Series, their first appearance at Phillip Island. We go to another fast track very soon. We're back at Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit here in Victoria as we're still on the ANCAP safety car in race number 1 of the car sales TCR Australia Series. We've had Nathan Morecambe have an incident down here during this race, and John Martin has come into pit lane while you've been away. There's still no O'Keefe leading from Tony D'Alberto, Jason Bright, Garth Tander and Andre Heimgartner. Let's have a look at the replay of the start here, Aaron Noonan, because it's a pretty wild one for the front guys.
The pole man, Dylan O'Keefe, in that Alpha was able to get the jump, but Tony D'Alberto, he was a big mover in that Honda to the right of screen. Car number 50, the Civic Type R, sweeping around the outside of Will Brown in the Hyundai, who had it all go wrong at this next corner, ends up off the road, left of screen. The white number 30 car, there he is, just loses the rear on entry, off the road, through the grass, through the sand, or gravel, not sand, and managed to get going. But he's at the tail of the field in position 16, and his teammate, I don't think I really picked up the whole story on Nathan Morecambe and John Martin on what was going on there, but out front, it was the pole man in the Alpha that got the lead. D'Alberto was there, Jason Bright, Garth Tander making moves, and Andre Heimgartner in the Subaru started on the 5th row of the grid, was up to position 5, having a very good 24th birthday so far. So good. There's Nathan Morecambe's car. He's managed to limp it back to the pit lane, and that's why the safety car is on the track at the moment. So car number 11 is parked up at the moment. So horrendous first lap for the Hyundais. We might get more on this story. Eminata Francesco's in the lane.
Scott Fulcher, not an ideal start, that is for sure. We saw what happened with Will. Have you spoken to Nathan? What was the issue?
Haven't spoken to Nathan, but he said he copped a little bump, pushed him off. Obviously got bogged, and just coming in to assess it now.
Tough luck. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Bit of simmering tensions, I think, between these two teams. They had contact with the same drivers, with John Martin and Nathan Morecambe in the first round, the last race at City Motorsport Park. So keep an eye on that one. There's Will Brown, tail of the field, 16th, but at least the safety car closes him up onto the back of the queue, which Dylan O'Keefe is at the front. Restart, this time by. Green flag is ready and waiting at the start-finish line. It's in the hands of Dylan O'Keefe, the 21-year-old Victorian, on board that Alfa Romeo Giulietti Veloci, and he's got a nice restart, Matt. He's got a margin on Tony D'Alberto on the run to the green flag. D'Alberto now has to deal with Jason Bright, Garth Tander, Andre Heimgartner. Lots of experience hanging out at the top end of TCR.
He's dropped about 6 car lengths, hasn't he, as we charge down to turn number 1. More passing moves happening into turn number 1 on the restart here. So already
Tander around the outside, contact in the mid-corner, and GT is off the road. It was he and Jason Bright who made contact. He got a great run on the Volkswagen. Tander manages to pick it all up. He slots in behind his teammate Hamish River. It's Alex Rullo next in the Castrol Astra. Cold Tyres is catching everyone unaware. Look at this, 3 wide. Heimgartner pouncing on Jason Bright, who in turn has got the other Alpha of Jimmy Vernon. He started position 12. He is now running in the top couple.
Unbelievable. That's now 3rd position for Heimgartner. He'll now chase Tony D'Alberto, who worked lap 4 of 16 here. Race number 1 of the car sales TCR Australia Series. Got the makings of a series finale race here today, early on as they come out of Siberia. O'Keefe, who got the better restart here, 1.6 seconds. Here's the replay, in car with Jason Bright.
So on the restart, Tander made serious ground. There he goes, that's serious ground in the Audi. He's not clear of the Volkswagen on turn-in, and there's a bit of a rub and a touch between the two most experienced drivers in the field here this weekend, and around it all, they lost some ground. But out front, O'Keefe is gone. 2 seconds is the margin back to Tony D'Alberto in the next car, in the Honda Civic Type R. But then positions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can see them all out our commentary position window right together. Here they are, final turn, and the mixture of cars. This is TCR at its best. They are getting it on. But the guy who's got away, he's broken the slipstream, Dylan O'Keefe. At the line, the margin's 2.4 seconds. That's going to be hard for them to catch down.
Yeah, 1.5 of that came at the restart. Tander has got back past into the top 10. He's going for another move now down into the first turn. So he's picking them off one by one.
He's trying to get a move on Chris Pither. These two shared a supercar together for Gary Rogers Motorsport last year. Now they're fighting for room in TCR. Bright's on the comeback mission. Down the inside as they start to shuffle Jimmy Vernon back in that number 7 Alfa Romeo, young gun who's done great stuff. He's champion a few years ago in Toyota 86s. He was in the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge last year, and he's linked up this year with Gary Rogers Motorsport. This is the fight for second. Honda, Subaru, Volkswagen, Alfa Romeo and Renault all together. Oh yeah, and an Audi just behind. There is not one of the same car in shot. They're all different.
8 manufacturers in the field here. Car Sales TCR. Through Siberia they go, approaching the half-race distance mark. More replays happy here. This is Tander as he picks his way back through the field. Going down the inside of Aaron Cameron, who's made up 9 positions in the race. 2 for the price of 1, is it? Yes, it is. From Garth Tander, vintage into turn number 1 there. Great pass.
And that's worked his way back to position 8. Looking here at position 2. It's on the line. Remember, in TCR Australia, we have a podium result for each of the races. So there's a trophy on the line. There's championship points as well. 40 for the win, 36 for second, 32 for third. Right now, though, it's Dylan O'Keefe leading the way. The Ash Seawood Motorsport Alfa Romeo is out in front, building margin, clear air, doing what he needs to do. Jason Bright's in the tow of Andre Heimgartner on the run to turn 1. Look for that Subaru to try to hang on. The Volkswagen Golf GTI, that distinctive Golf GTI, looks much wider than that Subaru WRX STI. And Jason Bright put together a deal. He went and got 2 cars out of the Asian TCR series and is proving you don't need a brand new one to get a Mugget, and he gets a Mugget into the side of the Subaru. Jimmy Vernon has contact as well. He's off the road. Moffat avoids drama at Phillip Island, and the Subaru goes to the back of the grid, and Jason Bright limping, left front damage on the Task Force V-Dub. Boy, oh boy, I thought we got our action done in the first few laps. It was still on. Little bit of a touch between Bright and Heimgartner, and they slip right on back. And poor Jimmy Vernon, wrong place, wrong time. Here's Will Brown fighting back. He was at the back of the queue, Matt, after that safety car. He is now position 7, and in fact, he's position 6. He's fighting for position 5.
What a comeback. He's helped by the ANCAP safety car that came out. Through the backside of the circle we go again. This high-speed but high-pressure freight train of TCR cars climbing to the top of Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Here's the replay, and this will be a big talking point.
Now, Bright, there's a fair bit of gap there. Heimgartner's car not going as quickly as Bright's intended it to go, or thought it would go. Contact at the back. Heimgartner has to nail the throttle. Vernon tries to avoid, but brushes Bright on the way through. That's what's caused the left front drama for Jason. Moffat avoids, makes it through. Vernon spins out to the gravel. Boy, oh boy, safety car on the track for the second time in this race. On board with Bright. This will tell more of the story. Oh, boy.
Straightened him out, but then Vernon came round in front of him, and James Moffat was lucky not to be in this incident as well. The seas kind of parted. He managed to get that 34 Renault Megane through, but Jason Bright limping back to the pits, a shake of the head. The cork went pop. And now, the second time the ANCAP safety car is out on the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. What an amazing start here in race number 1. It's had everything.
This has been the yo-yo motor race. There's been cars go up and down the field in just 6 laps. We've got a couple in the pits. We've got a couple of drivers unhappy. Can't keep up with all this. Emma might be able to paint in a bit more of the picture.
Nathan Morgan, wow, it's all going down at the moment. DNF disappointing for you. Tell us what happened.
Oh, it was just a first lap incident, but to be honest, I was sort of staying out of trouble. Got, I think, 1 place. And then I seen a Honda in front spun at turn 2, and to be honest, I pulled to the left. But as he, I think, fully did a rotation, he just came back in front. Or, to be honest, it wasn't even in front, it just hit my right rear, so it was sort of caught off guard, and then it sent me into the sand trap, and no other contact with any other car, but I think it was just wrong place at the wrong time. But shame for HMO Custom Racing with a DNF, and not good for the points, but we'll get the car fixed overnight, and we'll get it out there tomorrow and race hard tomorrow.
Better luck for tomorrow. Jack?
Thank you.
Down in the Kelly Racing Garage with Matty House. Mate, lots going on in those first few laps. Andre was going really well. What do you think of what happened down there at turn 2?
Yeah, I'd say Brighty is kind of a bit ambitious there. Still a fair bit of the race to go, so probably no need to try to do that at that time. So anyway, we'll get Andre back out there, just get him circulating again.
Has Andre said much damage to the car?
He doesn't think so, but we just want to check it now. So boys will have a quick look and we'll send him back out again.
Good stuff, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's back in the pits now. 14th, he'll drop down a spot there with Jason Bright. So we look at it again, this time from Andre Heimgartner's perspective at Southern Loop.
And you can hear he's got the throttle nailed, because front-wheel drive car, when you're in a slide, and he's got his hands off the wheel saying, "What are you doing, Jason Bright?" And you could hear the front wheels spinning flat chat as he tried to correct it and get it pointing in the right direction. Another look from outside. And remember that in this series, the driving standards advisor is Alex Davison, the former Porsche Carrera Cup champ and supercar endurance driver. Jimmy Vernon firing off there. James Moffat had an Alpha straight across his bows from the Gary Rogers team. From his team, they run Alphas and they run Renaults, and that is the damage to the side of the Subi. It's bent like a bit of a banana, but they're going to send it back out because he will rejoin position 14 in front of 4 other cars that have had dramas in this race that are either in the pit lane or have lost enough time that he will rejoin just as the safety car comes through the final turn. So he'll be able to go around and tag onto the back of the queue and potentially make up some space.
So the ANCAP safety car, that's the hands up going, "How this happened on my birthday?" from Andre Heimgartner down the pits. We continue behind the back of the ANCAP safety car here. Just a few laps remaining in race number 1. Race 2 and 3 to come tomorrow at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. A bit of a difference to what we see today. A quick fire turnaround between races. And if we had the action today, what's it going to be like if we do it tomorrow?
It's a very good point, Matt. Tomorrow for the 2 races, there's a very short turnaround time between the races. There is a parc ferme time where the teams cannot touch the cars. Then there's a repair time. They would have really needed that if we went racing again straight away after this one. But they've got tonight to think about it, to get themselves sorted and go again tomorrow for 2 more races. It's real quick fire stuff. That's the great part about the Car Sales TCR Australia series. So let's just stop, take a little bit of a breath and see who's where. Dylan O'Keefe leads the way in the Alpha. Tony D'Alberto is second in the Honda. James Moffat's third in the Renault. Garth Tander's fourth in the Audi. And Will Brown, who started on the front row, slipped to the back of the pack on the first lap, is now position 5. I don't know how he's done this. The Hyundai is in the mix for when we get a restart. It's hard to keep up with all this, but we'll head back down to the lane.
I'm down here with Barry. Hey, mate, your boy Dylan is doing a fantastic job out in front. You're not liking these safety cars at the moment, are you?
I just cannot believe how this bloke, every time he's in front, attracts a safety car. It's just unbelievable. So he's going really good. You know, when I said, as soon as you get a start, we've been working on starts, go like a scolded cat. And he did, and next thing the boys well piled into into the rocks and whatever. So hopefully we'll get another good jump and just do it, because we really need to win one today.
He's driving really well, though. Obviously, the car's handling really well as well.
Yeah, no, he's developing a lot as a driver. You know, he's still only 21, so he's still got a long way to go. So each year he gets better, and when you've got a good driver, you get good feedback, so it makes your job a whole lot easier. So, mate, we're really enjoying it. We're going good.
I'll let you get back on the radio and keep encouraging you, mate. Good stuff.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
And Barry Hay, of course, spent many, many years at Stone Brothers Racing working with Russell Ingall, who was part of that amazing championship with SBR here that was sorted right here, 2005, with Russell Ingall. We jump on board here for a look again. There's that multi-car touch. Vernon to the left, didn't quite make it through. James Moffat, Dazer thundered it through the smoke, got out the other side, picked up 3 spots, and is P3 in a brand new car. These Renaults, there's not many of these Megans in TCR around the world. There are only 2 other cars that race in the European series, so GRM very much learning. There's not a bazillion of these cars in other corners of the world, so they're working very hard with the Vukovic team from Switzerland who put these cars together, learning all the time but having a whole pile of fun doing it. And James Moffat is in with a chance today, getting a trophy because he's P3.
Great job, Ring Car with Renault Megane. He sits in third ahead of Tander, Will Brown, Hamish Ribberitz, who makes his debut. He's been leading the Super 3 Series this year. Aaron Cameron 7th. After qualifying in 18th, he had that car in the fence during qualifying earlier today. Behind them is Rulo and Leanne Tander inside the top 10. Then it's Alexandra Whitley, Molly Taylor, Chelsea Angelo, and Andre Heimgartner as the ANCAP safety car heads back to the pits. At this time, Tony D'Alberto doesn't want to let go of Dylan O'Keefe as we come back to the green flag.
But that Alpha is really pacey. The Honda had the punch on the start to try to stay with him, but as they get to the green flag, he's got margin again. Dylan O'Keefe pulled a gap, and D'Alberto's got to defend. Moffat's in the tow. The Renault Megane, that yellow and black car, shows the nose at turn 1. Down the inside, making moves on the Honda already. Tander's in the mix as well, side by side with the Honda and the Renault, and the Audi will fill the gap. Watch for the Hyundai too. Will Brown on the fight back trail. He must think he's having his 21st birthday all over again. They've gifted him spots and got him back in the race, back in the title fight. Freight train down the back straight. The Alpha's gone. Dylan O'Keefe has cleared away. The fight for the minors. This is great.
Will Brown will be sniffing a podium here right now. There's more happening down here. They're 3 wide.
Contact.
Into turn 4. And this time Alberto squeezed. Tander goes wide in the Audi. And you watch Will Brown here.
Will Brown in the mix. He's made another spot. And while these guys fight and carve one another up, go 2 wide through Siberia, Dylan O'Keefe is laughing at them. He's looking in the rearview mirror and extending the margin all the time as we run towards the fast run to the Hayshed. Moffat second. Brown is third. I cannot believe the guy's back on the podium. D'Alberto is in the mix. Tander's there. Hamish Ribberitz as well. Aaron Cameron started at the back of the grid. Seems to not be a problem in TCR. You can start anywhere and be a factor. A couple of safety cars have helped. This is good stuff. This is TCR at its finest.
It's incredible racing coming out of the hairpin into turn 11 and 12. This constant left-hand turn. It's a high-speed turn. It's about the exit through here. While Dylan O'Keefe's lead is 1.6 seconds, the battle for second, third and fourth is on. You're looking at Will Brown, who was off the track on the first lap and now is staring at a podium position here.
Tander was wide on the run to the Gardner Straight, so that gave a free kick to Aaron Cameron. Hamish Ribberitz, his stablemates from the Melbourne Performance Centre team. It drops GT back to position 7. Heimgartner's making moves. That Subaru got onto the back of the queue under the safety car. He's starting to work his way forward. Replay here. Moffat was down the inside. D'Alberto just started to lose the rear. Little touch. Tander's going a long way around all of them, but runs out of road. At least there's some road for him to at least drive on that's not the track, and he can get it back going and be on the inside for Siberia at the next corner. Another look from on board with GT in that Audi. And it's a case here of, well, I'm going with the Honda because he's on the inside line. And that is the car to stick with as they continue to fight.
Tander had the speed going through that southern loop that time around. This is how it developed down towards the Honda hairpin. They were 3 wide. See Tander going to the outside. He's had several laps where he's gone past the track distance, hasn't he? Taking the high side down at the hairpin. He only lost 1 position out of all this in the end.
He's lucky only to lose 1. Well, actually, no, he lost a couple there. There they go. But the thing is, you're never out of it. Look at Moffat. He's P2. He's hanging on. Check the freight train out. There's a bit of everything in here. There's Alex Rullo. The Astra's in the mix. This car had dramas in the first round. Leanne Tander's at the back of the queue there as well. Deal put together very, very late for her to run in this Audi team. O'Keefe's margin is 3 seconds. He's sort of stenciling his name on the trophy. He hasn't got it engraved just yet. Ash Seawood Motorsport have an Alpha out front. Gary Rogers Motorsport with the Renault second. HMO Customer Racing. Will Brown is third. 10 laps down at the island. Fastest lap of the race that time around for Dylan O'Keefe in the race. So he started to get moving. That's not the fastest lap of the race. It's his fastest lap, but it's a good time to do it.
Brown has set his fastest lap of the race and now really pushes the Renault Megane along and James Moffat through Southern Loop. That's your margins, first, second, third and fourth here at Phillip Island in the closing stages of race number 1 of the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Will Brown has got his eyes on second and he might just get Moffat.
This has been on like Donkey Kong, Matt. This has been a ripping motor race and it's not done with yet. Moffat hanging on. Brown will throw everything at him. Tander's still in the mix, even though he's been shuffled back a little bit. He is right there in the queue. Working lap 11 here at the island. First of 3 races, 2 more tomorrow, live on SBS. And we're seeing a great mix here. Established names like Tander and D'Alberto with young guns who are making a name for themselves, like Will Brown, like Hamish Ribberitz, Alex Rullo. This has been a really good little series. We've got some great racing unfolding. Bad news for Molly Taylor. There is the Snap-on Tool Subaru rolling on down a pit lane. This is one of 4 cars run by Kelly Racing. Of course, Molly's the 2016 Australian Rally Champ, continuing to learn about circuit racing. She's parking in the garage at the moment. So D'Alberto we're on board with. The Honda's just fallen back from the Hyundai. Brown and Moffat have been able to get away, and that's a pretty solid margin. O'Keefe's built it out in front. The Alpha clearing away. The Hyundai's quick in a straight line. Will Brown just starting to get into that slipstream of the Renault to turn 1, but he's not close enough to make a move. And this fight for 4th, 5th and 6th continues between the Honda and the pair of Audis.
Moffat knows that Hyundai is quick. And now Brown again looked awkward through turn number 1. The Rondo number 30, his confidence just continues to build. Yes, he won race 2 and 3 at the first round at Sydney Motorsport Park. But he's won so much racing over the past couple of years too. He's up in the seat. He celebrated his 21st birthday in the lead up to this weekend. And now pushing James Moffat. Pulls out for the pass down at the hairpin here at turn 4.
I thought Moffat was going to cover that off more, but he knows if he can hang around the outside, he's safe because he's on the inside for Siberia. That's what he's done. Plenty of experience from James Moffat. Hangs Will Brown out of the dirty stuff, and it brings Delberto back in the game. Moffat wants Delberto to put pressure on Brown to take it off him. Stack him up, pushing back into the Honda. Tander in the mix, Ribbert's in the mix. This has been a damn good motor race. Thoroughly enjoying it. Hope you are too with the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. I don't reckon you've got the trophies lined up for who's going to win them yet, because second and third still on the line. Moffat's hanging on. He's doing everything he needs to do, but Brown looks menacing. But Moffat was smart. He actually gave him a look at the inside at turn 4 and then knew that he could protect the next one.
Experience playing off here. So it's a 5-car battle now for the minor positions as they come on by to complete another lap. Dylan O'Keefe's lead, 4.1 seconds here. You're in car with Will Brown holding down second position, third position I should say, as we start the final lap. We're going time certain here, so it's 4.4 kilometres remaining to find out who will finish second and third here today.
Remember, it is always a timed race in TCR, so we've had 30 minutes no matter what. That has been the race distance, but there have been 2 safety cars to slow it down. But you know what it's done? It's made the motor race unbelievable. Will Brown right up behind James Moffat, fighting for second place. O'Keefe out in front by 4 seconds. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, he will bring it on home and grab a win with that Alfa Romeo. Delberto, Tander, Ribberts, they're in the fight if anything should happen here. Tander showing the nose. Down at the hairpin, there's Alex Rouleau, Chris Pither, Leanne Tander. Heimgartner's back into position 10. This has been a yo-yo race. Now Brown's down the inside at Siberia. It'll be side by side. He gives Moffat some room to play with. Side by side at the hay shed, 200 plus kilometres an hour. Which car do you want to be in right now?
Well, if you stay with Brown, he's going to try and hold this. He'll have the better line. Past the hay shed, they climb to Lukey Heights. On this, the final lap, Brown gets the job done, but he's under siege here at the drop. Into the hairpin, he needs to cover it off. He's done it. Parks it down the middle of the road here.
Smart move from Will Brown. He knew that would be where Moffat could have a run, and he's punched the Hyundai out of that slow corner really well. Tell you what, Dylan O'Keefe's punched them. He's punched them all up, and he's driven away. This will be the final lap. Checkered flag's out. It's a win for the 21-year-old from Melbourne. It's a win for Alfa Romeo and Ash Seaward Motorsport. Dylan O'Keefe, great job. To the line, second place will be Will Brown. So he got back to where he started. Unbelievable. And James Moffat is on the podium in the Gary Rogers Motorsport Renault Megane. So it's a win to Alfa, Hyundai second, Renault third, Honda fourth with Tony Delberto, Audi fifth with Garth Tander. 5 different cars in the top 5 positions. That is what Car Sales TCR Australia is all about. But it was all about car 9, Dylan O'Keefe. Started at the front, finished at the front. The guy behind him started alongside him, but had to work pretty hard to come back through the field and get to second place. So a bit of a switch around in terms of the points. O'Keefe earns back 4 more points on Will Brown in the title fight. That's very, very handy. There is the final results. 4.98 seconds the margin between the Alfa and the Hyundai. James Moffat next in position number 3. Delberto, Tander. Nice job, Hamish Ribberts, his TCR debut in that Audi. Alex Rouleau, quite achiever, the Astra P7. Then Chris Pither in the Renault, Leanne Tander P9 in the Audi. Andre Heimgartner was another of the yo-yo drivers in that Subaru after the contact with Jason Bright. And Bright's car with damage to the left front. He was a DNF, did not finish that first race in round 2 of the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Unbelievable action. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay with us. We'll take a break and we'll head to the podium.
15 minutes to the Porsche GT3 race.
Back at Phillip Island, and great stuff for Dylan O'Keefe. He picks up the win in the first race of round 2 in the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. The first win for that Alfa Romeo, and he did it in style. Nearly 5 seconds the margin at the end. He's a very happy man, so he should be too. Emma Francesco is with our race winner.
Dylan O'Keefe, congratulations. You converted that pole position into a win and your very first win for the 2019 season. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. The car was fantastic. It was an absolute jet. Thanks to the guys at ASM. Made my life really easy. So the few safety cars interrupted our race, but it didn't phase us. So the tyres were great, and really looking forward to tomorrow.
Best of luck for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And in second position, Will Brown. He's right here. Okay, let me just talk through this for 1 second. You had an off on the very first lap. You went all the way down to 16th, and then you ended up coming back to your original position. You're an absolute superstar. Well done.
I thought I'd try going for the hero move and went to 0 pretty quick down there, so a bit disappointed. I like doing things the hard way, but went back to last. Couple of safety cars got us back up there and got second, so car's good. We'll have another crack tomorrow.
Well done.
Thank you.
And in third position, welcome to the podium, James Moffat. Hey, you managed to escape all the carnage because that race had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, certainly. I don't know what it was like to watch, but it was damn fun to be in, I got to tell you. So full credit to everybody at GRM. It's great to get the Renault Megane for its first podium here in Australia. So we're slowly chipping away at it, but just great fun out there.
Best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Jack?
What a crazy race. Andre Heimgartner, mate, you've passed a lot of cars on the first lap, not only today but in the first round. Talk us through your race out there.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's don't want to talk anyone down too much, but there's fairly average driving going on out there, and especially by people that should have known better than that. So really disappointed for the car to end up that way. You know, we're sitting third. I had some good speed, so it just would have been good to get that result and move on. But unfortunately, they can't play nice. So now we've got a lot of damage to the car we need to fix, and it's going to make it interesting for tomorrow.
Will you go down and see some of the other drivers that were involved, or just wait till tomorrow?
You can go see people, and make a big deal about it, but at the end of the day, it's not going to fix anything, and it's not going to fix my car, so what's the point? And if they haven't learnt from now, then, that it's all good, though. We'll straighten it up and get it ready for tomorrow. I had all flat spots, so the last sort of 5 or 6 laps, going through the last corner, everything, you could hardly see where you're going, but it's all good fun, and, looking forward to tomorrow.
It's good fun watching, mate. All the best tomorrow.
Cheers, thank you.
Andre Heimgartner managed to salvage position 10 in the Subaru. Let's take a look at the highlights of the first race of the second round of the Car Sales TCR Australia Series, and it was Alfa and Hyundai off the front row of the grid as we blasted away with 18 cars to turn 1. Tony D'Alberto, the Honda, right of screen, made a pretty good start. Will Brown, he did this in Sydney, going long and loud and proud around the outside at turn 2. He got away with it there, but he didn't. This time around, went for a wild ride through the gravel and had to rejoin. John Martin, the Honda Civic, didn't last very long, straight into the pit lane and done and dusted. He did rejoin and finished 13th. This was the one that Heimgartner was involved in. Jason Bright with contact, Vernon trying to avoid. He touched the Volkswagen on the way by. Bright was out, Vernon was out, Heimgartner was puzzled. Moffat making moves on the Honda, Tander out wide in the Audi, and Dylan O'Keefe managed to get away. 2 safety car periods in this race. Talking about going loud and proud around the outside, Tander did that. He knew he had some bitumen to run with there around the outside, but watch for this. He gets swamped by cars. Will Brown put the pressure on James Moffat in the Renault, managed to get back to second. So he started second, dropped to 16th and fought back to get to second and get that Hyundai up onto the podium. But Dylan O'Keefe was just way too quick. Faultless drive from the 21-year-old from Melbourne. He's putting together one heck of a season in TCR. He's driving Super 2. He works at Gary Rogers Motorsports Workshop in Melbourne. He's a young guy who is really starting to achieve. What a first race of the weekend with the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Thoroughly good stuff. Stay with us here on SBS. When we come back, it's time for some trophies and champagne on the podium. Back at Phillip Island after a very entertaining first race in round 2 of the car sales TCR Australia Series. Podium time, trophy time. James Moffat getting a cuddle with Bebenham, the Michelin man, out there on the podium here at Phillip Island. Great stuff with the Renault finishing in P3. P2 to Will Brown. More trophies for him in his very young career. That was one heck of a fight back for him. He's looking to find where the winner is, because the man who ended up with the win, no one really saw him today. Dylan O'Keefe, he was way out in front. A trophy to Will Brown, a trophy to James Moffat. Great mix of cars up the front on the podium in this race. Alfa Romeo with the win, Hyundai second, Renault third. But Dylan O'Keefe, his first win in TCR. So that means we've had 3 different race winners from the 4 races so far in the 2019 season. Pretty impressive stuff. Great way to start the year. Always nice to start with some champagne as well here at Phillip Island. They get the chance tomorrow to do it 2 more times. Races 2 and 3 of round 2. But there's plenty going on in that race, and with another part of the story, here's Jack Perkins in the lane.
A lot of action out there, mate. Talk us through your race.
There's a fair bit of action, yeah. I was like, the car was really quick. We picked off Vernon, turn 2, and the next lap I had a run on Andre, and then he seemed to just lift up. I think he lifted to get some weight back on the front, and I got in the back of him. I was hoping he was going to sort of straighten up, and as I was trying to push him straight, Vernon sort of clipped my front wheel and tore it off. So, yeah, a little bit disappointing. Sorry to Andre, for disappointing. Had a good little battle with Garth there in turn 1 at one stage as well. So, it was, the racing looked awesome. I got to watch a little bit from the sideline, unfortunately.
It's good elbows out racing. Will there be enough parts to fix the car for tomorrow?
Let's hope so. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can sort of piece together enough. I haven't sort of pulled it all apart yet to see how much, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Keep the elbows out, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. She'll be right.
And it really hurts Jason Bright in terms of the series point score, because it means a big fat 0 against his name. He's still 4th in the points after that first race, but the margin to the leaders has really blown out. Will Brown points leader now by 6 points over Dylan O'Keefe. Tony D'Alberto is 3rd in the Honda Civic Type R. But one heck of a race there. 13 cars making it to the finish after the 18 that started in just 13 laps of racing. So that was an unlucky number for some. But for this car, no real problems at all. Just wipe it down and send it again tomorrow. Let's take a look at the highlights again of race 1, round 2, the car sales TCR Australia Series. And it was hard to know where to look, because it was all happening from the minute that they took off from the start and finish line down the Gardner Straight. Will Brown made a mistake. He's got to stop doing this, because he's making life really hard for himself. It's entertaining for us to watch, but it's hard work for him to get back through the field. Fell off the road at turn 2. John Martin into the pits. Drama with the Honda. They did get this car going again. He was the last classified finisher. Then Jason Bright contacted Andre Heimgartner. Jimmy Vernon in the Alfa trying to avoid it, but tagged the Volkswagen on the way through. Andre Heimgartner could only sit and wait and watch, as there was all sorts of drama. One heck of a first race. We get to do it all again tomorrow. Make sure you join us on SBS at 1 p.m. We've got 2 more races. We'll see you then.